Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to my world. This is Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedrick LaFleur, your host. And, you know, Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership, personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. You know, our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution, which says growing yourself enables you to grow others. So you can't give what you don't have. So first you must grow yourself in order to grow others. Now, we believe that outstanding leaders like yourself will help us to help others. So tonight we have another dynamic leader with us. And TK, go ahead and introduce our guest.
Yes. So Adrienne Ross is our guest for today. And I actually played basketball with her at TCU from 2007, 2008 season. And so super excited to introduce her, super excited to have her on the show. I'm going to do a quick rundown of her bio and everything that she contributed to the basketball world and beyond. So Adrienne Ross is a product of Hobbs, New Mexico. She, in 2006, was an AP Honorable Mention All-America, made the AP Honorable Mention All-America team. She made the WBCA Kodak Honorable Mention All-America team. She was the Mountain West Conference Co-Player of the Year in 2006. She was the preseason Mountain West Conference Top Returning Player in 2007. She was first team All Mountain West Conference 2006. She was second team All Mountain West Conference in 2007. And she made third team All Mountain West Conference 2005, which I believe was her freshman year. So she is a very dynamic player, had a lot of accolades coming out of college, which actually propelled her to the professional ranks, where she was on the 2008 San Antonio Silver Stars team that made a run to the Western Conference Championship. But she didn't stop there. She wanted to continue to play and progress her career, where she ended up playing for 10 years professionally overseas in countries such as Romania, Turkey, Poland, Spain, and she ended her career playing in Lebanon. And even though she was a dynamic basketball player and she had such an impact both at the college level, professionally, overseas, and in the States, she continued to make an impact in her community in Hobbs, New Mexico. And through all of that work, she was inducted in 2018 into the TCU Letterman's Association Hall of Fame, which she is also now a board member. She's also a board member now. So all of those great things came from her basketball career and her work in the community, both locally and overseas. And now she has her own business called Studio 33, which we will definitely dive more into and let her continue to expand that. But just quick highlight, she's a diversity consultant and an inspirational speaker and stylish, blending a fresh mix of global street style, sportswear influences, and unexpected touches in vintage thrift finds. So a lot of dynamic energy and everything coming from Miss Adrienne Ross. So I want to welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you, TK. Thank you so much. And you as well, Cedrick. I'm very excited to be here and just talk to you guys.
Well, awesome, folks. So let me tell you what, folks. So TK just, I'm gonna get this TK right one of these days. But just explain to you or read over her bio, folks. But I want you to take a step back. Think about all the things that this young lady accomplished on the basketball floor. All Mountain West and Player of the Year, playing professionally here in the United States, playing professionally for 10 years overseas. You see, folks, we all know that when leaders show up, great things happen. And we're going to be talking about her basketball accolades, but we also going to show you that she's taking it off the court now, and she's doing great things in the community and with her life in her business life now. So that's what we want to talk about tonight. So I'm excited to talk with you, Adrienne. And before we get started here, I want to say, I remember the first time talking to you was Tressa's junior year going to TCU, and I was sitting in the conference room, and Coach Mitty brought you in, and we're talking, and it was just so impressive how you were talking about the program at TCU and what benefits it had given you and what you were looking forward to in the upcoming season. And I never forget that. That made an impression on me. So thank you for welcoming Tressa to the team back then.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So we are going to dive right in. And my biggest question is really around your induction to the TCU Letterman Association Hall of Fame. And just kind of what was that experience like? What was it like when you found out the news, and what got you to a space where they actually wanted to induct you into the Hall of Fame?
Oh, man. I appreciate you taking me back to that, because it definitely was just a milestone, like one of those that I need to go back and just sit in a while. I think at the time that I got inducted, I had a lot of things going on at the time, so it went by fast, but when it came, I was on the tail end of my career. I was on my 10th year overseas. I was kind of debating whether I wanted to retire or not. I also didn't think that I was like young. I thought I was too young to get inducted at the time. I knew that I was working. I had done the work on the court, and did the work that it took to be that. But I knew that 40% of getting inducted is what you do off the court and in the community. And I had been working. That's like where my true passion had ever lied. Basketball was basically a vessel to get me to those kids, to get me to the community. So I was just in the infancy of like really what I wanted to do as a philanthropist. And so when they called me and told me like, that was one of the things that really, really stood out to them, I was like, do you, God? And so at that time, it was really good. And then it helped me to just make my decision to go ahead and retire after that 10th year, and it was a lot of alignment and the timing that I got inducted and stuff like that. And it hasn't stopped since then. So I'm very grateful for that moment. Full circle. At the time I got inducted, I was living in New Mexico. Now I'm living back 5 minutes from TK, where I lived on Byers. I live not too far from there, all over back by TCU, doing a lot of work with them. So it's just cool to see it come full circle, but it's above me now. I'm just letting God do what he does.
There you go.
That is awesome. So tell us, all the stuff that you've been doing off the court since basketball is your playing days are over. Not basketball's not over, but your playing days are over. Tell us, what you've been doing since college and pro life has ended.
Yeah, so it all started with that induction. So like after I got inducted, I think that was finding out about it was in April of 2018 or maybe March, around that time. And I was soaking it in, still just on a high about it. And it wasn't about a few months after that, we had found out that my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And so like to get like the biggest information, the biggest accomplishment to my time, but then also to get this at the same time, I knew that it was going to take like an ungodly amount of strength and focus and this, that, and the other. So when she had got diagnosed, it was a process, and we connected right back to the community. I retired, and a lot of things just, it felt like I was just in a blender going fast. But now that I've like slowed down, and after, 7 months after she had transitioned from battling, it all makes sense. The whole blend makes sense, So since then, at the time that I was taking care of her and stuff and being back in New Mexico, I had started a training company called A-Train Basketball that you can find on Instagram. And I still have that. But I started that training company, and it connected me to kids. It still kept me on the court. It gave me another outlet. And we were able to reach the community and just do some projects and stuff and just show my mom love within her time. But then after she had transitioned, I was still in New Mexico, and I was like, do I get a gym? Do I carry on with this A-Train basketball vision? But what about my social life? What about this? Like, it was just, I didn't know what to do. And then I'd had my corporate boss that I had worked for, that I ended up working for. He had been following our story on Instagram and just kind of seeing what we could do, and knew my heart for giving back and stuff. So he awarded me with the opportunity to come and work for his global nonprofit organization. And it was right back here at TCU. It was in the TCU magazines. It was gonna be perfect. And I was gonna do director of community relations, this, that, and the other. So shortly after she had transitioned, I had moved here and kind of just been figuring it out. Kind of had my head in the clouds and trying to keep my feet on the I realized nobody has it all figured out, but in the midst of trying to figure it out, pandemic happened, and then pandemic happens, then we have these social issues to where I'm like, wait a minute, there's room for me to do what I really want to do. Like, I've done all this, but I've done all of that being myself to as much as I could with the reins on me, with all due respect. I'm so grateful for all the help that I ever had, but I always wanted to be in fashion. I didn't know that I initially went to TCU as a fashion merchandise major, but I ended up getting out of it because at the time could not connect, just could not connect and stuff. So I couldn't do my work, my community work and stuff like that. So my corporate job was put on hold, but then I was like, wait a minute, I got all this thrift clothes. I got this. I started putting outfits together. And next thing you know, it just started, the vision became more and more clear. Prior to my mom, like 2 weeks prior to my mom passing, she had saw the part of me where I was in Hobbs selling my furniture so I could put more racks in my living room, do all of this, that, and the other. She's like, what are you doing? People are going to think. And I said, you got to come over, Mom. I got to tell you my vision and stuff like that. And she looked around. She listened to me. She was like, okay, we got to get you some hangers. We got to get you a steamer. We got to get this. So for her to leave me with that encouragement and then me be right back here and the process come with a lot of healing and so forth and so on. So now I'm independent. I talked to my boss. He understood. He knew where my heart was. We went back and forth, the whole business dialogue thing. But he's in full support of what I'm doing, and so now that's what I'm doing, starting a style and image consulting company and basically do what I did with basketball, connect. I used basketball to connect to the community and this, that, and the other. And I plan to do the same thing with this company. Of course, I want to style individual clients, but I'm most looking forward to the projects and campaigns to where I work with the big dogs, but the underdogs benefit, and the kids. So
awesome.
That's where I'm at.
That's awesome. I'm coming to your studio so I can get some fashion advice because I have a zero.
Come on, the door is open.
But no, it's so funny though, because I think back to TCU and we would hang out at your apartment. You still had clothes everywhere. Like, I'm convinced that you took some of your roommate's closet space as well because you just had clothes everywhere. And I was just like, this girl loves fashion just a little too much.
I appreciate you even bringing that back up because it's really been a part of me. Now it's like, is this really my job? Am I really doing this? That's like part of the walking in it, and it's, and so I'm still getting used to it, because it was almost like I wasn't supposed to be doing all of this, and now it's like you are supposed to and stuff. So I'm just still gaining the confidence to walk up in it, but also to just be grateful in every step that I'm at. I'm not trying to get out there too fast. I'm embracing the process. So you definitely take me back with that college stuff because
I have to, man. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So what has probably been one of the biggest hurdles, since we're talking about your business, what has been one of the biggest hurdles that you've overcome, given that the opportunity just came out of nowhere almost with the pandemic? What have you had to, overcome?
I've had to overcome a lot of the stuff with, like, when I stepped into my activism, you mention all of these things that I did, and I was a community leader and the whole city behind me, and they're loving the story about, my mother or giving back or us being pro athletes. And speaking of my brother and my sister, they both have their respective platforms, but we had a lot of respect as the family, and so, and then I go to TCU and, this great college, a great university, so forth and so on, but it hasn't always been, it's been where we're at now. It took a while to get here, just like how I went in to be a fashion merchandise major and couldn't connect, whereas now I can, and so, I had to break a lot of chains, to get here. I had to break relationships. That was hard. That came with anxiety. That came with this, that, and the other. And I was just questioning because I had to speak up. I couldn't be on all these platforms and just be like, this is okay. A lot of things weren't okay, So I think that's been the hardest part, is just balancing to stepping into what's right, and just being integral as far as that goes, and then having to let those relationships go. Was it hard? Yes. Should it have been? No, because I just actually really cared, and I started realizing not everybody cares about us that way. It's like they care about what you can do for them, but not who you are, this, that. So coming into that realization was kind of like, okay, time to get your big girl pants on. This is the real world and stuff, So I embrace it. I'm grateful for still grateful for all the love I've had, I'm grateful for the ones that's left and made room for the next wave of people coming in or whatever, if that is the case. But I will say it was difficult. It wasn't easy, but I knew it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. Wow. That is awesome. Well, the law of the niche, Adrienne says all players have a place where they add the most value. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like this law of the niche really plays a big part in what you're doing right now. So your niche is in the clothing consulting business, or is it just apparel? So talk to us a little bit about what it is you're doing with your clothing line, your consulting business, and you can tell us what you're doing and why is that so important to you?
All right. I appreciate that question because it really is so important. And I've realized it, I've healed so much just from walking into this. I've overcame so many things. It's just been so great. And I see what it does for me and what clothes does for me. And I really predicate on it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. So me, for one, I like to do meaningful. If I don't want to say, I don't want to just say, hey, TK, put this on. I want to know more about you. How do you, it's really getting in and digging and doing the self-reflection. Like, am I most comfortable not wearing this? Well, I always kind of liked it. And I'm finding ways to comfortably nudge you into a direction of something new. And it's fashion and it's clothes. It's just another way of expressing yourself. I'm really into artistry, so I think that this is one way to do it. But coming from a basketball background and so forth and so on, I'm able to connect to people that like we've been in the basketball world, and even though it's all one world, the creative world and it's just different.
Yeah.
It's really different. So to be able to merge that, but also to take what I've learned from both, like I understand my insecurities as an athlete, this, that, and the other. I was always a tomboy and thinking it was like not okay, but it wasn't. And but then I'm like, it is. And I can say that because I'm a stylist with a company and people pay me to dress and do these things. And so I'm loving that part. What I am doing though is style and image consulting. Like I said, I'm trying to connect to the people and really make people love themselves through clothes. I want to do a lot of meaningful projects to where, like I mentioned earlier, to where it just has an impact on the community. I want it all to make sense with an S and a C. So I'm figuring a lot out. Currently building a team. I have a team of 4 other girls that's, just helping me assist it. And they all have their different talents and skills too. We're doing like some celebrity styling. I've worked with different athletes and agents and so forth, but I haven't even put it out there. Like, the branding should be done, by this summer going into the spring and stuff. Like it's one foot after the other. I'm not rushing. At first I was like, okay, once you put yourself out there, you see what's out there for you.
Right.
These vultures and everything else too. So I'm like, okay, let me get my stuff together to where, I just have a solid foundation. So
sure.
That's what I'm doing. If that helps answer your question, is figuring it out, but also too having a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so and I'm gonna let you guys ask a question here, but I always go to my custom guy and to get my suits, and I I'm a little bit older, but I still know how to look fly.
There you go. I'm telling you.
I got to show my kids I got some skills, right?
Okay.
I'm still wearing my TCU workout gear, so
But one time we were there and he was doing all his measurements for this new outfit, and he asked me did I want my pants cuffed or uncuffed, and I said, oh, I'll just do them cuffed. And he looked at me and he goes, oh, so you don't want to be fashion forward, huh? Like, oh, so in other words, I don't want them cuffed in.
See, you're learning. And it's funny that you say that, because when I first started this during quarantine, I couldn't get out of the house with it. So I couldn't go and put all of these ideas and, I couldn't put them out there just yet. But luckily with tech, I was able to do enough on Instagram and social media to just get enough support to keep me going, But the funny thing is like I was looking up schools in that process of going back. I was like, maybe I go to LA and intern. Maybe I do this. And I'm like, no, that's a waste of time. Just, figure it out, trial by error. That's what I've been doing, just gaining the knowledge from it through experience, and you can really get out there and just tailor your job to how you want it to be, to where it, it doesn't have to be like everybody else. It's hard with social media, that spirit of comparison, because you see some people just vroom going, and and I was like, wait a minute, quiet the mind. This is my lane. Sometimes I'm sprinting, sometimes I'm sitting down on the track in Indian style, just like I'm tired, so it's just going at your own pace, and also doing it your own way. Like there's room for all of us. So that's one of the other things that I've really learned.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with that. I'll put up on the screen here the law of the mirror principle, which I absolutely love. It says the first person you must know and take responsibility for is you, right? Regardless of what else everybody else is doing. It's important that you take care of yourself. All right, Chelsea, you want to ask her a question?
Yeah, it falls right in line with what you just spoke about. It's talking about how growth is very intentional. And so what do you do professionally or personally to grow yourself, to continue to grow yourself, especially in your new business venture and all of that stuff?
I try to stay, and I love that you say that too, because the intentional is the main thing. Like I've been so intentional, and it's come with so much alignment. And I think from going through what I've gone through with my mother, it's not that this happened and boom, now I'm here. Like my mom was a single mother, raised me, my brother, and my sister, put us all through college. We traveled the world. We did what we loved. She went out with so much grace. And the last thing and the only thing I wanted to do was just go forward with grace. So coming with that intention, with that pain, this, that, and the other, things just line up for you. All you have to do is take the steps, this, that, and the other. And it's not to say it just happens, Sometimes you get going too fast, and I learn a lot through other people's mistakes. I pay a lot of attention to artists that have gone through similar experiences. And what I've learned is sometimes those steps back can get you there further than those steps forward, So it's like being intentional, like listening to my spirit, just staying connected to her. I always feel her presence, and that has been a cheat code for me, because I'm like, ooh, I was about to go left, but you can't. You're right, Mom. I'm still finding a way to make light of that. I think if I had done this interview a year ago, I wouldn't have been strong enough to just even say it like that. It still hurt, even though it's like, I can't say it won't ever hurt, but I'm so happy I can carry the load a lot lighter and just feel it and be able to help other people. So I think just really valuing that relationship to our spirit, it's helped me. And sometimes that's God or this, that, and the other, but you definitely have to have that relationship to something higher than yourself. And it's proven that it works for me. So I'm just keep riding it,
Well, that is awesome. So, I just want to let the audience know here's something fun about you, or interesting about you, a little bit different. So let's say you're in the house and it's just you and the four walls. There's nobody else around. And I know you're an athlete and look, you stay in shape and all this type of stuff, but what dessert are you going to eat?
What dessert, man? You're going to get me in trouble on here. I'll say the Oreos because they're vegan, but I really don't judge too much. Like I did the whole vegan lifestyle and everything last year doing quarantine when we had time for routines and stuff. Yeah. But now I get me some Oreos.
Okay. All right.
Pies.
Okay. All right. Awesome. See, it's always good to know. See, for people who are not athletes, it's always good to know that the athletes then will eat something, not good, like Jessica says she never eats anything, but okay.
Okay, not the
point. That is awesome. So what do you say has been your biggest challenge during your entrepreneurial journey?
Man, just seeing myself in a light that can be a leader, and do this. And though I've done it in basketball and, it's at that point it's muscle memory, but now you're doing something new with people not really seeing your vision and understanding it. So you have to keep putting yourself out there, even though someone may look like, what's she doing now? Da, 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 and just quieting that doubtful noise, and getting away from that. That was a big challenge for me because I tend to care a lot. I've gone ahead and built me a team with women that can just be like, hell no, and help me out and protect me in that regard, But that was a challenge, just getting past the caring about what people had thought and stuff. But other than that too, it's you really have to be a team player. Like in basketball, it's a game. But when you're doing business and you take it as serious, like as I'm taking it, and you have the intent for it to have this grand impact, you have to let your ego go. You know, and athletes don't always get told to let their ego go. Sometimes their ego might increase their point average or this, that, and the other, but it does nothing for you in the real world. So like letting that ego go is kind of like, sorry to see you leave, you know, but then also too, it comes with so much reward. So it's been difficult, but it's also been a reward.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I put this up on the screen because I'm in the leadership development and teaching, helping people see things. And I want our audience, as they listen to you, to be thinking of what you're saying and to let it resonate. And what you just said is really an example of the law of the big picture, which says the goal is more important than the role. So sometimes you got to take the ego hat off and put it to the side and say, this is more important. The goal is more important than me individually. So I got to help the team get to the next level. That's what Adrienne is saying to you guys. And so we're talking and listening to Miss Adrienne Ross, former high school, college, and professional basketball player. Now she is the businesswoman and about to do some major things in how do you say this, in the world of style and appearance, right? So if you're looking for someone to help you be fashion forward, you're looking for someone to help you change your personal image, then reach out to Adrienne. You'll see her information is scrolling across the screen. You can reach out to her at Style by Studio 33. And if your child is looking for a little basketball help, I can give you a secret. She can play. So, reach out to her as well on Instagram at A-Train Basketball.
Yep. Yeah, so I guess I need to get out of my dressy sweatpants and go see Adrienne. Because I have
at this point, it's all fun and games. Like it's all fun, and that's been my most fun part about it. Like it's just connecting to the person first, and then they're like, okay, let's just try it. It ain't like you just put it on and it's there. Like this is years of dressing, and now you have to see yourself in that same light. So where I'm at now, I had to kind of look at myself like I'm wearing all the extra dramatic stuff that I always wanted to, and it took some time, even for me loving it and being my passion, so it's fun though. You definitely have to come and check it out.
I am. Sure. I will. I remember whenever we'd go to games or have events, it was like, well, what's Adrienne going to wear this time? Because she would put like these outfits together. I'm like, never in a million years. I would never put that on. But it works. Like she made it work.
I appreciate you supporting that. We definitely had the teammates were like, here she go.
There you go. What is this? Put your uniform on, Adrienne. But no, seriously. So good leaders ask great questions, and I know I would have a ton of questions from a fashion perspective, just because I know very little. But what has been some of the best questions that maybe you have asked, or that someone has asked you in regards to your fashion?
In regards just to the fashion and stuff, I've definitely been asked like how to wear this, that, and the other. And I was like, you're not going to be able to asking how to wear certain things that may be out of their box, this, that, and the other. You can't just go straight to the clothes and put this on if you intentionally want to just change your image. It's not just how it looks, it's how it feels. So you have to go within, And so I'm like I'm going to be pretty much a spiritual stylist, because I like dress like the energy. I have to feel it. I can look at you and be like, put that on, but I have to feel it. I have to hear it and stuff. And then I connect to it. So I was like, just do the work and try things and step out on your own, and this, that, and the other. It all starts from within. So if I wasn't asked that and had to look at it for myself, I wouldn't have been able to answer it that way. So I felt like that was just a very beneficial question. Was just like how to put it on. I was like, you don't just do that.
Yeah, that's me. For sure.
So, Adrienne, I know that, you have great times in life and you have challenges in life, and you kind of talked about that a little bit. But right now, there are a lot of entrepreneurs that are your age and even younger. And a lot of times they lose that confidence. in themselves, and they go through a rough patch, and then they decide, you know what, this is not meant for me. I'm going to throw in the towel. So talk to those young people who are in that entrepreneurial space, and they're thinking of quitting and giving up.
Yeah, if the vision is clear, and if it's ever been clear, and if it's ever brought you excitement, you got to expect that giving up, feel like that spirit of it. It's going to come and test you, because it tests me all the time. I think 2 days ago, I was like, knowing I wasn't going anywhere, but it comes and it happens. So, and I only say that so you can know it hasn't been easy. You know, I've gotten my no's. I expect those, anticipate that stuff, you know, and then it gets dry sometimes. It's like you hit this creative block. There's things that comes times, or you have other things going on. When you're an entrepreneur, I've really had to work on balance, you know, my life and basketball, and family and relationships and everything like that. You definitely have to get the balance in order, but you have to anticipate that, and you can't stop, you know, like there's times where I didn't want to stop, but my anxiety would not let me go. Like, I was just like, you know, like, and I got to one point where I was like, no, it's so clear. This anxiety is going to have to come with me, because we got places to go. Let's do this. And you know what? I really was talking to myself like this. Like, you have to almost be crazy, you know, just to really believe in yourself. And when I did that, it didn't feel like anxiety anymore. It felt like power. So when you have those moments where you just want to stop, you do this, know that it is okay to rest. Maybe that's a time for you to check. Maybe it's a time for you to revise. Maybe shift it around to where there's something small. Know that little by little is better than nothing at all. You know, there's so many different techniques, but you have to find a way to keep going and find your second win and anticipate it happen again. Not everyone's always going to support you the way that you want them to. Not everyone's going to see your vision clear enough to where they're going to match your energy, and they shouldn't. You know, it is your job. That's when you step up and take a lot of these lessons that you teach with your leadership. Like, okay, if I'm a leader, it all comes on me. If I have to go back and tell how I did it, I have to start and do it now. You know, I'm going to have to go back one day when I am successful and claim that already and say, this is what I did in that moment. I didn't want to. How did you bounce back? You know, so that's what I told myself when I wanted to stop. There's been plenty of times when I didn't think there was another way. When I got out there kind of fast, and I was like, whoa, I have other things I need to do. I need to scale it back. Just know that it's okay to scale it back, to revise, to take a deep breath, you know, other things. Just find what works for you, you know?
Yeah. Well, so I have a follow-up question on that, because it sounds like a lot of the things that you're talking about in your decision process are some of the same things you learned on the basketball floor.
Absolutely.
Right. So talk about that. What are lessons you took from the basketball floor that's really working in the game of life right now?
Well, I would not have been able to do this business. Basketball has really springboard, it was a springboard to get here. Everything that I've learned on the court, in the locker room, working with coaches like overseas that had language barriers, that may not do this, that, and the other, I'm able to talk to my team in that way. You know, I didn't like when I was talked. I felt that I was very coachable at times, you know, like I felt like I was very coachable, but I would still get disrespected. I was like, oh, you don't have to talk to me like that, you know, but then I was like, I would take it. Now I realize I don't have to talk to my team like that. There's been a lot of other times, even when I build and I'm explaining things to them, I use so many basketball innuendos. Like even on my page, you know, like I'm saying, I'm keeping the number, which my basketball number was 33, just changing the game. And I'm still using everything I learned from this to that. You know, a lot of the captions that I use, like there was one girl, a young girl, and she was just, she's just a little rock star, and I could just see it in her. And she's young and powerful, this, that, and the other. And when I posted the picture of her, and when I had met her in the consultation, I posted the picture, and my caption was like, I could tell she was going to win in warm-ups, you know? So basically when I met her, I could feel her energy, this, that, and the other. So basketball, I'm so grateful for every lesson, how you prepare for the games, how you understand the importance of team, how you're used to being kind of in the light of things, you know, that this is what you do, step up, you know, it's a different game, but it's still, you know, the same court. So I'm very grateful for basketball. It's sticking with me. This is a basketball styling company as much as as far as
Well,
I get
now I know why it's called Studio 33. I forgot your number was 33. So.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it with me.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. So, being that now that you just mentioned that you are now the leader of your team and you have some great women working with you on this, and you touched on it slightly when you said you don't have to talk to your team in that way and to get them, prepared. Do you still do like the pep talks and have like your scouting report and all of that kind of stuff? Like, what does that look like when you get your team ready for the day or get your team ready for a client? How does that preparation look?
It's so much. TK, you would trip out. Like if you ever wanted to shadow and see this, we just had a client. And she's a professional athlete, and we had to put together a certain amount of looks for her and this, that, and the other. Well, we had presented her with a playbook,
Nice.
but the playbook was a digital style book to show her how the outfits went. So to watch my team, the two girls that were good with the digital and how they put the flat lays together, and then us come up with we tailored it to say terms like work hard, this, that, and the other, like just so many different little creative things, but we keep it very basketball related, but it does. It's the same thing. It's all the same thing. Like team is team. Like that's it. It's just different sports, different games and stuff, but team is team.
Yeah. That's
and also, let me say this. I actually kind of work for them. I'm just kind of have the vision, this, that, and the other, but I need them to tell me what to do. They are so sharp. Like, it's so cool.
That's awesome. I love always hearing athletes talk about how they are transitioning off the court or off the field, and how those things match up. Because I didn't play sports. Well, wait a minute. I did play football one year, and I was third string, but I still play. I was on the team. Hey, don't judge me out there now.
TK's a hater.
I am not a hater.
You see her hating, right? Go for the third stringers out there. But we always talk about when I'm coaching clients, whether it's a Fortune 500 company or it's a school system or it's a dealership, we're talking about, we use a lot of sports analogies, right? In the fourth quarter, see, you need your best players to show up.
Yep.
You see, we use all of these sports analogies in this thing, and so it's good that you are reinforcing what I was talking about. So, Adrienne, we have a session on here on Talk Leadership with Cedrick that is called Would You Rather. So we're going to play a little round of Would You Rather. All right.
Okay, fine.
So, all right. So, would you rather meet your great grandchildren or your great grandparents?
Great grandparents.
Great grandparents. All right. Already. All right. Would you rather know all the world's languages or speak with animals?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say all the world's languages.
All the world languages. All right. Would you rather get stuck in an elevator or on a ski lift?
An elevator is okay with me.
Somebody's afraid of height. Would you rather go to dinner alone or go to a concert alone?
Oh, both. Both, but I would definitely say if I have to choose a dinner.
Okay. I've never had anyone say both.
Take yourself to dinner and then go to the concert after.
All right. Would you rather be an adult your whole life or be a kid your whole life?
A kid.
A kid. All
right.
Working
on that.
Okay. All right. Would you rather be best friends forever with your favorite celebrity or date your celebrity crush for only 2 years?
Oh, I don't have a favorite. I would BFF my favorite celebrity. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. All right. Last one is, would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
It depends how my personal account is looking. I would go with the Amazon money.
Amazon money. Yeah, because everybody's shopping on Amazon every day anyway. So you might as well just go ahead and get the gift cards, right?
Yep. Yep. But I can give out too, like it's easier to send to people in need.
Absolutely. Just send them a gift card.
Gift card me.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you for playing that round of Would You Rather.
Thank you.
So, you want me to ask the next question, Trias, or you want to ask the question?
TK would like you to ask the next question.
Those are good, by the way. Those are really good at Would You Rathers.
Well, thank you. So, what would you say is this year's is very new and young? We're only in the third month of the year. So, no, actually, the fourth month of the year. So, what would you say has been the best thing that's happened to you so far this year?
Let's see. I mean, so many things are happening. It's a good time where it's good to count your blessings and stuff. I'm just so grateful for everything. I will have to say, like, my family's doing well. My sister having a healthy baby boy,
Okay.
stuff that's something I've really been praying on and knowing that was just really great. So a growing family, good health. I'm taking it all, every win I can.
Okay. That is awesome. Well, congratulations to your sister on the baby boy. You said baby boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, shout out to the little baby boy.
What makes you smile when you get up in the morning?
That's a good question. If I have a text from Bay, that helps sometimes. But let's see. I mean, just another opportunity. I know that it is a blessing every time we can get up. I'm very aware how important life is. So it's like another day to get to it, and I know I'm going to. Like I'm so determined to. So I'm like that. I get excited about it because I see the impact that it's having and stuff. So that makes me smile.
That's
awesome.
Being able to get up.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So, Adrienne, leaders come in all different packages with all different types of strengths, right? So what strengths do you feel are important for successful leaders? Give us, 2 or 3, 1 or 2 strengths that all leaders should have.
I definitely think that you should be able to be great communicators. Definitely be able to be great communicators. That's something that I'm working most important. Like that's one of the things I'm working hardest on because it's just just a whole nother game now, So being great communicators is one thing. Being able to stand up and not please everybody. You can't be people pleasers and stuff. And so that's just for me, not being able to be like firm in my decision, trusting it and knowing it's best for a group rather than that one or a small group that it may not make happy. So being able to stand firm in your decision and be clear. So communication, clarity, and let's see another one. You got to be brave. You definitely got to be brave. You got to be able to go whenever you don't feel like it. You have, when people are counting on you, this, that, and the other, you have to be able to step up and go. And if you can't do it for yourself, you have to be humble enough to remember who you're doing it for, So I think great leaders need to have a why because there comes a time where you don't want to always do it. It's hard. We're human. We're human. So it's like you have to be able to connect to that why and do it for something bigger than yourself.
Absolutely. And I'll have to jump in on that because you have just hit one of those buttons for me right there is people having a why. See, folks, when you find your why, you will find your way.
Yeah.
See, the why is your purpose. That's your passion. That's what you were born for. And you must understand not everybody will understand your why. Big Mama, you love her.
Yeah.
But she might not understand your why. That's okay. You see, your mama, your daddy, cousin Skeeter, Uncle Bub, they may not understand your why. That is okay. Your best friend may not understand your why. Let me tell you something. If you're standing next to someone right now, close your eyes for me. Just 3 seconds. Just close your eyes. 1001, 1002, 1003. Now open your eyes. Now what I want you to do is tell me what the person next to you, what were they dreaming about? And then that person next to you, I want them to tell you what you were dreaming about. You see, you're never going to be able to tell me that because you don't know. Because that dream was not given to you, it was given to them. You don't have to understand their dream, and they don't have to understand your dream. Yeah. You have to understand it. See, when you go up to the pearly gates, he's not going to ask you, did you help someone else reach their dream? He's going to ask you, what did you do with the talents I gave you? That's your why. You have to understand it, and you have to live with that, and know that Big Mama's going to be okay. She may be a little bit upset, but she's going to be okay. She's going to get over that once you go and live your why. So always remember that your why is your purpose. The way is the path that you're going to take to get there. So sorry, Adrienne, you just hit a hot button for me.
You actually said something that made me think of a quote that I love so much too. And it's one of the things I always kept on my board in high school, but it was what you are is God's gift to you. And what you become is your gift to God. So it's like you have to do something with these gifts. He gave them to you, you know? Absolutely. And so that's another connection to that why. So I appreciate your intelligence over there. That's good to know.
Hey, you know, I know a few things. I didn't dribble the basketball, but TK. But
no judgment over here.
I'm not judging.
Judge Judy. Mm-hmm.
Although he is left-handed and he didn't give me that ability, so I'm a little jealous.
I'm glad he didn't. I had to guard you in practice.
I wish he would have, because I might have scored more.
You're out humbling me.
No, so that's awesome. Speaking of, communicating and being a leader, and you have your mentor program and all that stuff. Are you, I know you're back at TCU, and I imagine you're connected with the women's basketball team there. So what has it been like with impacting and mentoring the athletes that are there now, and talking to some of them and getting to see them play and grow and all that?
It's funny that you say that. Like, I'm back, and I'm literally about 7 minutes from campus, but I'm back as an independent. This is the first time I've been back, and I got to know Fort Worth. Yeah. When I was at TCU, I just knew TCU. But then when I came back here summer before last, I was like, whoa, I don't know much about Fort Worth. So I've been connecting to the community a lot, and I've been going to just the Black community, the other and meeting a lot of community leaders. And I love it because having that relationship with TCU, I'm able to find little ways to bridge the gap and us keep working together. So I've really been focusing on that for the most part. But just having the women's team, I don't know, they have an all-female staff. We didn't have that, and I'm open. I loved, I can't say Coach Mitty had taught me so many things, and and Coach Tidwell and everything. I'm grateful for all my male coaches, but being able to be around that staff of just women, creating women empowerment, pouring that into the girls. And granted, I was grateful for what was poured into me, but to see them pour it into they're basically mentoring me because I'm getting something through their experience that I didn't necessarily get. When I first came back, I was in a little better shape. So I would practice with the girls, this, that, and the other. And I got to just be around it, and just being around it and the energy that they have carried is just strong women, doing that. They basically mentoring me. But now that I've been able to just grow a little bit more, get a little bit more confident in everything that I'm doing and stuff, I'm realizing what I'm going to be able to give them as well. There's a basketball player on the team named Yummy, and she's so cool. Yeah. She's so cool. And she's in fashion merchandising, and I talked to the Neely School of Business and stuff, and they're going to help me with like some interns and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I want her, women's basketball. And I have an alumni that's getting into the creative world, JC Bradley, and she's come over, she's getting into photography and this, that. So it's cool to have that creative connection. But at the end of the day, it just be love and us to help each other get to wherever we're trying to get. It's really good to have that family. And the coaches are just doing a great job in that. So it's like, I don't know if I'm mentoring them, but I definitely know that we're all just trying to grow and, be fountains and not drains. Some people take, where I just go and I'm like, I came to give, but I ended up taking more and stuff. So I always hang on to relationships like that.
Absolutely. And I have a follow-up question for that. Was that, Did you always want to have an all-female staff, or did they inspire you to do that, or did it just kind of work out?
No, not at all. I actually have like some guys in my mind, like on the board. I just can't bring it all here, like but I love the idea of brotherhood, sisterhood, this, that, like all of the things that we had talked about me earlier and the things that I've done. My brother has had a more impressive career on the men's side, and he just got inducted this year into the Texas Tech Hall of Fame, and we're 2 years apart, this, that, and the other. So just understanding, respecting his process and then seeing mine, and now he's in the business world, and even with my sister, I gather and I gain so much from them and their experiences to where I can't not look out for the men. I want to see all of us do well, all those with great hearts. But when I can know that I can really affect like the black men, this, that, like we are here for you. It's not a empire, it's whoever just got the heart. Yeah, whoever got the hearts to just do the good work. So I look forward to like seeing what projects we do with different males and this, that, and the other. But it's not intentional, no. I mean, if it stays this way, I'm not tripping, but it's not like girls only. I'm not 12.
Like Little Rascals.
Yeah, but I think it's cool we're able to do this. There was a time where you wouldn't be able to start a company. Like even for me, I'm like, this still does not feel real. I wasn't taught this. This is first generational wealth, and I don't even feel comfortable saying wealth yet because I have a ways to go before getting there. But this is all like just things we're figuring it out. So just to have the opportunity to do things that our grandparents didn't, our parents or this, that, and the other, I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted and stuff. So I would never just block it off to someone that came and it can benefit the community, everybody, but people especially that have the hearts for the community, that gave me like a lot of push in doing what I'm doing. I would see different brands that I was wearing your stuff and this, that before. But when all of this stuff happened, I was like, where's your little black square? You didn't post it. Like I was really into that because I really wanted to know, like, guys, it's one love. We all need each other, right. This, that, and the other. So as I'm building my own company, I'm making sure that I do it to where it's very inclusive. Male, female, gender, it doesn't matter.
Awesome. So for Studio 33, or is it just Studio 33 or Styles by Studio 33?
Yeah, Style by Studio 33.
All right. So tell our audience how they can get in contact with you and just give them 2 or 3 reasons why they would contact you at Style.
Absolutely. So now we're just working with the Instagram page, trying to just keep one foot in front of the other, but we've been able to get in great contact. We respond to DMs and stuff. A lot of times people come with different ideas. With us, what I'm learning with us being like almost basically a creative style agency at this moment, because people are trying to figure it out. We haven't done the branding, so our vision isn't as clear. But the people that have come, they've just had, hey, we have this brand. Can your team style it for this, that, and the other? Or, can y'all step on this platform as a team? Everyone on my team, as you will see, can sit on platforms and really tell the next generation. That was one of the criteria. What can you offer to the community? What can you offer to the impact you can have on the youth? This, that, and the other. So if there's ever projects to where you just had ideas, or us to talk to them about the importance of just image consulting and to be comfortable with each other, with themselves. One of the big things aside from Studio 33 that just kept me going is I grew up in low income housing to where I didn't have money to just go and afford to do all of these things. I don't know how I always had so much clothes, but I was bargain shopping, doing this, that, and the other. And so one of the things that we can show you is just how to do it on a budget, how to thrift and how to do it this way, and show you don't need all that to be all that. I don't want to come and see people sparkling because not knowing that they probably have them in a $4 thrift outfit, so ways to do it on any budget. That's what we're offering now, because that's where we're at now. But as things grow and we keep just going with experience, we're figuring it out as we go. So if you come with interest and the heart to connect, you can get in touch with us on the Instagram page at Style by Studio 33. And then
awesome. That is awesome. It's outstanding. So folks, what I want you to do is, and we're going to put her IG link in the comments as well. But I want you to do this. I want you to go to their Instagram page and check them out. I want you to give it a try. You see, folks, You see, everybody has a place where they start, right? And you know, J.C. Penney's, for example, started somewhere at some point, and they became J.C. Penney's. Montgomery Ward's was started by a young salesman, and then they grew, right? Amazon started very small, and then they grew. And I want you to remember this: Style by 33 is starting right now. So I want you to go out and I want you to check them out. If you're looking for some style help, give them a try. If you're walking around and you're still looking like you're in 1975 clothes, give them a try. Right? They can help bring you fashion forward. Sort of like my custom guy said to me, "Hey, you don't want to be fashion forward, right?" Yeah. So I want you to go out and give Adrienne a try. See, you can look at people and you can tell they're going to be successful by looking at what they've done already, right? We said she played college basketball. She didn't get to TCU by being, you know, the bench player in high school, right? She got to TCU because she accomplished some big things in high school. And she didn't get to pro basketball by not playing college basketball. She accomplished some major things at the college level. So my point is this, folks. When leaders show up, it's a beautiful thing. Great things happen. So we want you to reach out to Styles by Studio 33 and watch great things happen with you in your life. Now, Adrienne, we have a couple more questions for you, and the final question I have for you, and Tracy, you can ask another question if you want, but the final question I have for you is: if a book was written about you, what would the title be, and what would they say in the summary about you?
That's a really, really great question. And I've thought about this a little bit before, and I'm always curious what other people would say and think, because I don't think about myself, you know. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that I'm having to, you know. But I think if a book was written about me, it would definitely have to be something interesting and unique. You know, I'm having to embrace that for myself. It's not weird by any means, but I'm just not your typical, you know. I'm definitely not typical. And I think as hard as I'm working to become myself, you know, I would probably just put B, because that's all I want to do is just be. You know, I'm not trying to be famous, I'm not trying to be this, I'm just trying to be myself, you know, and that's it. So I would just leave it at B. I keep it simple. And I think the summary would basically tell, you know, the what it took to be me, you know, because it doesn't come easy and this, that, and the other. And I think that it's tied to so many great relationships. Full circle, I'm on here with y'all now, you know, from just being. Not necessarily knowing that you had all this great leadership thing going here and TK, like it's really cool to connect. So I think from just being yourself, you'll see what you connect to. So I'll leave it there.
Awesome. I like that. Mm-hmm. B. Yeah. All right.
B.
Yeah. So it was real hard to come up with that. Right? Awesome. I tried to go with A, but then I said B. You know?
No, I guess my last question is really around giving advice to someone who's aspiring to be an entrepreneur. What are 2 or 3 pieces of advice that you would give someone who is considering becoming an entrepreneur?
Get motivated. You know, it's just not an idea. It's not going to be backed with just an idea. Like, you have to be motivated. It has to wake you up and push. So it's like, fine. Like, if you do have this idea and like, this is the business I want to do. For me, I went and I watched, whether it was Girl Boss on Netflix, or she did that where it's just on Netflix, where it's just a group of Black women who just talked about their entrepreneurial process. And I'm like, whoa, they did it. And they were so transparent in doing it. I mean, and telling that I connected to it and I believed in myself. I've always had the idea, but to get out there and see myself as an entrepreneur, I had to see other people like me do it. Some people don't even need to do that. This is just my perspective, you know, so get motivated, start watching interviews, you know, if music that you connect to, don't just connect to the song, connect to the artist. So he can tell you how he got it there. You know, like I always like Nipsey songs But then now when I started connecting to him in his interviews, seeing what he did in the community, seeing what he did with his art, seeing the way he like, it's okay to lose friends. It's okay to do this. And it's cool to see that kind of stuff. So basically I watch people that's done it already,
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Get motivated, folks. Get inspired to do something great. See, greatness doesn't come just by doing anything. I always say all the time, talent is a gift, but greatness is a choice. Thank you very much, Adrienne, for coming on Talk Leadership with Cedrick. We know that everybody needs a little TLC, and we love that you came on here. April is our Women Empowerment Month, so we're excited to have you as one of our women of power on the show. So thank you.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you so much. And TK, is so good connecting with you as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll be on the call with you as soon as this ends, because I need to make a trip to Studio 33.
My phone.
Get out these sweatpants.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I throw trench coats over that. And call
Hey, give me a nice sport coat with my dressy sweatpants, and we rolling some Vans.
Come on now. I got you.
Well, folks, we're going to leave you with, as I leave with every show. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So don't be on the menu. Thank you and